Hello and welcome to this episode of the Popcorn Wind Down. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy.
This week we will be discussing Mortal Kombat, the latest adaptation of the Mortal Kombat video game franchise starring Louis Tan as Cole Young, a washed-up MMA fighter who was recruited to join an elite group of champions to protect Earth from the enemies of the Outworld in a high-stakes battle to save the universe.
That was good.
Thank you. Now, Tammy, was the movie as good as that introduction?
It was good for the childhood memories that I had of it. Does that make sense? Like
it does.
Because I played the video game, and listeners, I am not a video game. Like, I don't play video games. That is not my thing. But when I was younger, that was like the thing my whole family did. So in order to get cool with my older cousins, I played video games with them. So one of the games was Mortal Kombat. And me being the feminist that I am, I of course always had to pick the female fighters to play in the games. So I was excited about Mortal Kombat coming out just because of my childhood memories and everything like that. So it was good for what I expected it. It was what I expected it to be, if that makes any sense.
So did you appreciate it more for the nostalgia or the movie itself?
Oh, for the nostalgia. It was bad script, bad acting, but the nostalgia was real. Like, I was just like, oh, childhood memories. Like, I remember this. Like, and thing is, like, I also didn't remember everything about Mortal Kombat. And I kind of went into watching the new one without watching the old ones or without, like, researching or anything like that to kind of refresh my memory. Like, I really went into this, like, I kind of know what Mortal Kombat is, but not really kind of thing. And I just know I loved it when I was younger. I went into it with like a fresh mind, like kind of like, am I going to become a new fan or not? And it was cool. Now here's the thing. For the listeners, I have a weird, like, how do I say, personality trait. When I go to the movies and I see people die, I think it's the funniest thing in the world. And so the one thing that really like made me so excited was all the blood and gore in the very beginning of the movie. Like, that was so beautiful to me. But sorry, I'm not a psychopath. I just find it hilarious. But yeah, it was bad acting and a bad script. What about you, Eddie?
It was nostalgic. I too played the video game, and I loved it. And I was usually the female characters too. So, and I did not go back and watch the other remakes of the movie or adaptations of the other Mortal Kombats, because they were horrible. And so. So
tell me how you really feel, Eddie.
Yeah, they were bad. And so I was thinking, all right, this is going to be better. So I really had this was a mixed bag for me. It was better than I expected, but not quite as good as I was anticipating, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to like it more than I did, but it also, like I said, it surpassed the it surpassed the expectations of the other ones. And on one hand, I was kind of disappointed because I love Louis Tan so much, and I was like, it was just a mixed bag of, I don't know, for me. Like, the
Louis
first
Tan was a disappointment to me. I'm sorry. He's sexy. He's sexy. I'm gonna give him that. He's cute. But other than that cuteness, I guess they thought his cuteness was gonna carry the movie, so he didn't really have to like act. Because I swear, like, he phoned in his whole performance. Like, I was like, I swear he could act better than that. Wasn't he in that show we used to watch? What is it? The Batman. Yeah, Into the Badlands. Like, he was in there, and I was just like, I don't remember him being this bad at it, though. was I blinded by him or something?
No, because
he ain't bring it.
I'm sorry. No, you weren't blinded by him because, you know, he's also in one of my favorite shows, which is getting a movie. Thank you, Netflix, for doing the right thing by the Wu Assassins. You know.
I told you that a year ago.
I know, but still, I was waiting for official word. I believe, not that I didn't believe you, but, you know, I had to hear Netflix
believe me, y'all.
say it. I believed you. I just had to hear Netflix say it. But, you know, so he's in the Wu Assassins. And I think it just goes back to you, like, there's only so much you can do with a bad script. And we're not going to say that, in all fairness to Louis Tan and Jessica McAmey and McCad Brooks, they're not like the very best top tier actors, you know? I mean, they're good at their profession and you know, it's a hard profession. I'm not dogging them, but it's not like, let me put it this way. I don't even think Leonardo DiCaprio could have done much with this script.
First of all, that is blasphemy, and you better take that back right now.
What?
Okay? You better take that back, because Leonardo DiCaprio is a god, and he can make anything phenomenal. All right?
You know, wait, you know I love Leo. You know where Leo
You hit me hard with that one. I don't even know. I think I need a moment to like recover from that statement.
But you know Leo is on my future baby daddy list, okay? You know Leo. He just don't know it. You know Leo is at the top of my future baby daddy list. All right? And I love him. Like, I even love The Beach, which everyone says is his worst movie ever.
Trash.
So
trash. But I understand, but it was trash.
You know how much I love Leo.
Yeah.
I don't even think, like, okay, and you know the Leo movie I hate the most, Hoover. We've had dissertations about Hoover. I could go on forever about Hoover. And as great as he was in Hoover, he was great, but everything else was trash. I don't even think he could have saved this. Like, that's just how bad it was. And the action was great because I told you, I think I watched the first 7 minutes, which had the scene that you were talking about.
Blood and gore, baby.
Yeah, I can't remember who was it. When the Devil Lord, I forgot his name. You know I'm horrible with names. Yes, Scorpion. Thank you. The Devil Lord.
Oh my God.
Horrible with names. I am. I give everybody I meet a nickname, so
She does.
I give everybody I meet a nickname, so I don't have to go through the trouble of trying to remember their real name because I will fuck it up. I'm just horrible with names. So anyway, the Scorpion. And once I saw the first 7 minutes, I was excited because they released it early on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I was like, okay. So I will say that I am happy that we did not watch this in the movies. Even if we would have used one of our Stubbs passes, which we haven't discussed, are we going to get those back? See, it's that type of show where we just have random conversations.
Yes. Well, we are because no, like you already promised to go see Black Widow with me, so we have to get our Stubbs back. Now, of course, we're gonna go like, you know, at a very, very early time when nobody's gonna be there, but we are gonna go see it in theater. So. We're gonna have to discuss that, you know, at a later date when we're not talking about Mortal Kombat.
Is that what we're doing?
I guess from the fact that we're already distracted, they can tell like what we thought.
Okay, so we're gonna get back on track. But what I was saying is, it's one of those movies that I think I kind of would have been mad. Charlie's Angels. Was it Charlie? No. Was it Charlie's Angels? Yes, it was Charlie's Angels. You know how I wanted my money back, and that was on a Stubbs pass.
Yeah.
It would have been one of those where I've been like, I wasted a Stubbs on this. But
I am not that harsh, y'all. I'm gonna be kinder than that. But go ahead, Eddie. Finish your thought.
See, when you're harsh, but we just have different levels of harshness. But this is one where I was just like, oh my gosh. So, but yeah, the action was good. I did like the action. I will go back to something positive about the movie. I did like the action. I liked how they took it back to the beginning and they actually tried to reboot it. And it does have potential because obviously we'll talk about how they set up the end and what's coming. But I appreciated that. Now I'm going to pull a Tammy here because I thought that his family was an utter waste of space. I love his daughter.
For real.
And forgive me for saying this again. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a psychic. Is that? But I think it would have served the story better if his family had died. It would have given him more of a purpose. Because the whole week I'm fighting for my family, and then you go home. The first sign that things get hard when it's actually when you already know at this point that you are you are one of the natural inheritors of this sign because it was carried down through your bloodline. So it's not, you didn't inherit the sign by killing someone and it just jumps onto you. Like, this is in your blood. So I think that would have given him more of a purpose, like more the vengeance vendetta rather than, oh, I just have to go back and fight now because they came to my family. Like, I loved his daughter. She was cute. But I really did think that, they were kind of like,
okay. So first, I agree with you completely 100% that his family was completely useless in this movie. Like, another thing is that, first of all, how many bills are you paying with this $200 random fighting that you're doing? Okay? Like, I honestly want to know, what type of bills are you paying? And what type of job does your wife have that y'all able to survive on this $200 for random fights kind of thing? Okay? Because I was just like, what? Like, crazy. And then the fact of saying that you put your daughter as your corner man, and then when she gives you advice, you don't listen. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. I felt like the fighting at the very beginning with him, to kind of show, like, I guess he was weak and he was no longer the fighter that he was. But like, you was killing the dude up until like just randomly just started losing, kind of thing. And I'm just like, but you were just kicking his ass. Like, how is it that like all of a sudden you getting your ass kicked? That don't seem right. And then, like, to go a step further is when he finally goes back home and the monster comes, right? And he tell his wife to go back inside. And this bitch stayed in the corner. I'm sorry. My bad. I apologize. Let me not call her out her name. Okay? But when she decided that with her daughter, they're going to stay in the stairwell, they're going to stay in the doorway, crying, oh my God, Dad, come! I was like, did he tell you to take your behind inside? That's the reason why you ended up getting your butt kicked, and then he had to, and he got his arcana, so granted, that was good, but goodness gracious, woman, you should have listened when he told you to take your behind inside with your daughter. Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get that part, because I'm just like, if it was me and I'm standing in the doorway and my husband told me to go take my behind inside with our daughter, oh, I'm taking my behind inside with our daughter, because there's a monster that you're fighting and I gotta save our kid, not stay in the doorway crying for you. Like, that's just not how we gonna flow. And it didn't look like a badass moment when she picked up the axe to go after. Like, I didn't feel like that was her badass moment. Like, oh shoot, is she about that life? Like, that thought never came into my head when she picked up the axe. My thought was, you about to get killed.
Exactly.
You about to die. That was my thought. Like, you about to die.
And forgive me, again, not a psychopath, but I was disappointed when she didn't.
Yo, that is Eddie. That is not Carrie.
I mean,
I agree with you 100% though, but yeah.
We ought to label this one the one where we're not psychopaths.
Yes.
um,
That's gonna be the, what is it? The disclaimer.
Yeah, we are not psychopaths. Well, first of all, to go back on what you said, they lived in fucking San Francisco, so I don't know what he was doing for $200. I think she was a nurse.
One of the most expensive cities in the country? Are you serious?
Thank you. One of the most expensive cities in the world. But yeah. So I think she was a nurse, just based on the scrub she had. So I was wondering that too. And then you didn't even get the $200 because you lost, so y'all going out to eat. But that just lets you know that when you can nitpick at those things, the movie was bad.
When you're concentrating on real life situations.
Yeah. McCad Brooks, that mustache thing, that caterpillar on his face has got to go.
Oh my God. Can we just get rid of him completely? Okay. All right. All honesty, I have never been a fan of his. Not
even going back to Desperate Housewives?
No, not at all. That was the horrible season that they had when oh my gosh, I remember the name on the show, but I forgot what the actress name is. Who played his mom?
Alfre Woodard.
Yes, that was a horrible season that Desperate Housewives had. Because that was after left. The troublemaker left. But I have never ever been a fan of his. Good looking dude, or he used to be a good looking dude before that caterpillar. Good looking dude, great body, but cannot act to save his life. He can't act. He cannot act. You are a cute face that they told you, yo, you can't model for the rest of your life. How about acting? He was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And then they were like, well, he looked good at least. Let's cast him. Kind of. That's how I feel it goes.
that was his audition. Can you bulk up? And we're going to, because it was so obvious, the whole fake death thing with him. Because I was like, wait a minute, the way y'all hyped this up, the way he hyped up his role, he's only in this movie for 5 minutes. I'm like, I know this is impossible.
I was like, why is it got to be the first? The black dude got to be the first one.
So I was like, okay, and I'm with you. Like I said, I didn't go back and watch it, so I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what all their arcanas were. I knew Sonya Blade. It was interesting to see how she got her arcana, and we're going to talk about her in just a moment.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about her. She was the best part of the movie.
Co-sign 100%. And I was like, oh, those arms. But he had that truly black moment. He's like, oh yeah, these motherfuckers work.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bruh. I totally relate. Because at first when he woke up, he's like, what's this shit? What the hell am I doing with this? And then once he figured out how to operate them and use them, and he was like, oh yeah, these motherfuckers work. I'm good with that. I was like, oh, okay. But I was just like, yeah. So yeah.
Exactly.
I could have taken or left his character. Once you figured out his character was alive, when they kind of had you thinking he had died, I was like, okay, is that it? Because I know his character in the video games, from what I remembered, was a major part of the video games. So you kind of knew that he wasn't going to die, but I was like, all right. But then, like I said, it could have gone either way. It's like, I was okay with it. I was just like, oh, that was a waste of hype. At least I hope he got paid for those 5 minutes. And then it was like, when he wasn't dead, it was just like, oh, okay, so you live. But I really, 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 really didn't have a use for his character at all.
At all. But yeah, I agree with that. What is it? Is it Kano? Kano.
Yeah.
I mean, he played the part that he was supposed to play. He was supposed to be the asshole that ended up betraying them because he was all about the money more than anything else. Because he was a mercenary. He was not a mercenary with a heart of gold. He was just a mercenary to pure evil. And he played the role, and he also got his ass kicked multiple times by a girl with his sexist ass. Yes, he ended up dying by a woman that he thought couldn't beat him just because he said she couldn't. Like, I love how, like, he talked a whole, like, big thing, and I was just like, and every time you fought, like, you have no skill. You're literally a brute. Like, you're just a brute. Like, you feel that force and just kind of being aggressive is gonna get you to win every single fight you're in. And then he never learned the fact that that's not how fighting works. Like, you actually have to know how to fight in order to win. Like, you can't just talk a lot and then they just back down because they're scared of you. Like, nobody cares who you are, kind of thing. But yeah, I loved it when he died.
Yeah. Because in the first part is like when she had him down when they were fighting in the desert, and she had him down, and he's like, "Go ahead and do it, take it." And she was like, "No." And she knew she could, and everyone knew she could, but it was like, for her, it felt like she wanted, especially since she knew how people got their arcanas and how he got his was just by accidentally killing someone. And she was like, "No," it's because you have to sense to her that she wanted to earn it. If she was ever going to get one, she wanted it to be earned. And I respected that about her. And I love the fact that she was just kick ass. She was also the smartest one of the motley crew. So she was just, like you said, she was absolutely the best part of the movie. Her and also the dude who played Bihan or Sub-Zero, Joe Taslim. I loved him.
I loved him. Was good.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I love Joe Taslim. Don't ask me what else he's in right now, but I know his face when I see it.
Too. I was about to say, what's he been in?
And so, but I love. He was in, Star Trek Beyond in 2016, and he Warrior. That's where I know him from. He plays Lee Hong in Warrior. A great series on HBO Max. I want you to watch it. You remember that series I told you about that talks about when the Asians come over, the Chinese come over in the 1800s, after the gold rush in California? We'll talk about it, but it's a great series. I'm putting it on the recommendation list. Love the series, and it was renewed for a third season. Okay, but that's where I know him from. He's in Warrior. And I know you're having that moment where she's fucking nerding out on me right now.
I'm letting you. I'm just letting you flow.
But so yeah, I love him. He was great as his character. But other than that, I'm hard pressed to find something just really, really positive to say. It wasn't as bad as Mulan. I guess that's our benchmark, huh?
It's always been our benchmark, and I feel like it always will be our benchmark. Be Mulan. Yes, definitely Mulan. Definitely. No, okay, so what I will say is to listeners is that if you grew up with Mortal Kombat and you love playing the video games and you watched the movies, the previous movies, even though they were bad, but you watched them and you enjoyed watching them, then you will enjoy watching this new version of Mortal Kombat. But if you're looking for some amazing, like, script movie, like, no, keep it moving, because this is not going to be it. But I don't know anybody who would watch Mortal Kombat looking for that. Because you should already know going in, or I feel like I kind of knew going in, that it wasn't going to be that great, with the words that they used, but the action was going to be exactly what I needed. Because, like, my moment of the movie was when Scorpion came back, and all of a sudden he says, "Get over here!" And I was like, oh, I've been waiting the whole movie for this. Yay!
Oh, when he came back and kicked Sub-Zero's ass?
Heck yeah. But just when you saw his scorpion tail, I guess you would call it, when you saw his scorpion tail, and I was just like, it's coming. And I was just waiting. And then as soon as he said his famous line, I was like, yes! Yeah, like, I got really excited because that's nostalgia. Like, it goes back to your memories of playing the video game and watching the older movies. So if you are that type of person where, you want to go back to a time where you could just enjoy it, even if it wasn't the greatest movie script-wise, watch Mortal Kombat. Like I think you would enjoy like the action and stuff. But if you going for like the acting, you gonna have to turn your brain off to the acting and the script, because it's not gonna do you well if you focus on that. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, and I think that's also what disappointed me. The few action scenes that were in the movie, they were great, and because it was the first in, spoiler alert, an intended series. It was, maybe that's the problem. It tried to go too heavy on the story, and I don't know. I did like the action, but when we weren't in the action scenes, I was like, what is this? If that makes sense. So I think I was like, okay, this just needs to be heavier on the action, or can you make the scripts just a little bit better if you're not going to go so heavy on the action, if that makes sense? Like, I'm with you. This wasn't something, I know what type of movie it is. I know what the franchise is. That's like me going into the Fast and the Furious saga or series looking for just like great stuff. But they make up for it with everything else. And this didn't do that, if that makes any sense, if you understand what I'm saying. So I was like, okay. So I wasn't expecting top tier acting. I wasn't even expecting a top tier script. I guess I was just expecting a little bit better than what we got as far as that goes. And the first 7 minutes had me thinking that it was going to be more action heavy and more, God forbid, story driven, which was really cringeworthy, in my honest, humble opinion. So,
well, hopefully the next one they eliminate all of that, like, touchy feely kind of thing, and they really get into the action of it. And maybe they take the advice of critics who say that there wasn't enough action in the movie, I guess because they were setting up the story. So hopefully the story has been set up, and now we can really get into the action part for the second movie that they're going to do, because I'm sure it's going to do well for the nostalgia aspects of it, enough that they can make a second one. Now, granted, how many years is it going to take? Because that always annoys me on how many years it takes for sequels to happen. But yeah, so that would be the next thing, is how many years. Granted, none of the actors that were in this movie is like, A-list, so it's not like they got anything on their packets anyway. But yeah.
Louis Tan, the Wu Assassin movie, slow your roll. Slow.
Oh, the Wu Assassin movie for Netflix.
The way Netflix was the highest winning Oscar studio this year, so slow your roll. Don't sleep on Netflix.
For their serious movies.
Don't slow. Why do I feel like there's Wu Assassin? Why do I feel like you are trying to be subtle and shady about the Wu Assassin shade?
Now
here?
I did not enjoy that series, so I'll let you know right now before you even think about it. That will not be going on the list, because I couldn't even get through the series.
This is a 2-hour movie.
I'm gonna get through the movie.
It's a 2-hour movie.
The series was boring, so it doesn't entertain you to want to know what happened in the movie.
Listen to the Wu Assassin slander fans, okay? Audience, she's lying.
Yeah. Take your time, watch it yourself, determine if you like it. Because my sister loves it. Like, she's also like, how did you not like that show? And I'm just like, I didn't like the show. It's
one of those moments where I'm like, how are we friends, and why have I not put you up for adoption yet?
We've had those moments at least once a week, so I feel like that's just a regular occurrence. But do not listen to the Wu Assassin slander, because it's nothing. So Louis Tan does have other priorities, but this movie was also filmed during Rona, so I'm sure they can work it out. So I would ask, okay, do you think there should be a sequel? Let me put it that way. Okay. I do.
Yeah, hopefully, and I'm with you. Hopefully they will take the word and listen for once to the critics who I did not read any of this going in. Like, I kind of stay away from reviews, especially stuff that we're going to do, because I don't want to be tainted by the reviews. So usually I'll go back and read them after. But with this one, I just avoided it altogether. But I agree with that we agree with the critics. There does need to be more action. House. This is not a movie that should be heavy on story, especially if you're not going to flesh it out properly or write it properly. Also, if you're not going to, you don't have to kill his family, but they don't need to be unless you give them something. I think, and what I was thinking is that his daughter, I don't remember enough about Mortal Kombat, don't care to research enough about Mortal Kombat. Although I do need to power up the video game system to see if they released a new one. I haven't done that in a while. But anyway, I do need to. What I was going to say is his daughter, because one thing I did catch is when Sub-Zero said the line dies with you, and I'm like, bullshit, his daughter. So it would be cool if, because his daughter does seem like she has the potential to be a badass, especially knowing how to fight and be in his wing.
But then I'm assuming that why he said that the line is going to die with you is because she's not born with the mark.
Yeah.
So maybe because he's the last of his line to be born with the mark. So I'm sure that his parents, who he doesn't know, and everyone else before him on his line probably was born with the mark. But his daughters probably doesn't have the mark, and that's why he said you'll be the last of your line, last of your line to die. Which kind of gives you the hint that I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't seem that his daughter was born with the mark as well.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll get into the rating. What did you think? Oh, but Johnny Gage is coming. Something interesting I saw yesterday. And I don't know if this was Ryan Reynolds being the lovely Ryan Reynolds that he is. I love Ryan Reynolds, by the way. But he dressed up as Johnny Gage and posted it on Twitter. So that would be kind of awesome. It would be if he's going to be Johnny Gage in the next Mortal Kombat. I don't know if he was doing it. If he was hinting at it, if he was just hinting at it, he was just playing around. If he's just being Ryan Reynolds, you never know. But so we know that
Ryan Reynolds because they can't afford him.
Well, it's Warner Brothers.
No. The movie can't afford him. Warner Brothers is a whole different entity from the actual Mortal Kombat series. The movie series can't afford Ryan Reynolds.
Well, if Warner Brothers is a studio, they can afford him.
Okay.
Make him you offset some of that cost by making him a producer. It's going to make money. And the movie itself did very well in the box office in these Rona times. It didn't do King Kong Godzilla numbers, which is like the #1 movie in the world, but I think it bumped that down to #2 for the weekend. So we'll see. But yeah, I guess we will talk about Mortal Kombat 2 when it comes out. Hopefully.
Nah. That's not going on the list. I'm gonna let you know right now. But
and you know what? I'm not even gonna fight for that. I'm gonna save my list fighting for something else, like the Wu Assassins or Warrior. I've learned to pick my battles, and this is one that I'm happily to let die. Like it's okay, and I'm not even gonna try to convince myself that I want to do a quick pop about it because I won't. Unless Leonardo DiCaprio shows up in that bitch. Oh, then yeah, we talking about it. But he
can't even save that movie. But
he couldn't have saved the first one. Dude, can you imagine someone sending him the script for Mortal Kombat? And I could just imagine him going, "What the fuck is this? You want me to produce it? Like, what am I gonna do with this?"
I'm like Leonardo fucking DiCaprio. What the fuck is this shit in front of me?
Thank you. It's one of it's where you can see someone having one of those stereotypical diva Hollywood meltdowns, because I would have done that shit. I'm Leonardo motherfucking DiCaprio. What the hell are you crazy? Like, dude, no, not happening. But so yeah. All right. Well, what would you rank this? How would you rate this? How many popcorns are you giving this?
I'm gonna give it 2.5, right? And so it's kind of like, I knew the movie was going to be bad, so I just only needed half a thing of popcorn. Or maybe, you know what? We shared the popcorn. That's what we did. We went half and half. we went half and half on a bucket of popcorn. So that's the reason why it's only 2.5 popcorns, right? And I am going to say that the 2.5 is basically from childhood memories, from nostalgia, bad script, bad acting, but overall the action was good enough that I enjoyed the action parts and the blood and gore, because I'm all for it. So 2.5 popcorns is what I'm going to rate Mortal Kombat. What about you, Eddie?
I guess I got the majority of that half a bucket, or I got a little bit more, or I didn't eat quite as much as you did of the popcorn, because I was too busy stuck in what am I watching. So I'm going to give it a 2.75, and that is just because
that y'all, that means that she kind of stole some of my half of the popcorn. I'm just put that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't me just wanting more popcorn. The action was
higher than Mulan.
That it is, because I said it wasn't as bad as Mulan. It really wasn't. And I think part of what made Mulan so bad is because we actually paid extra for that. But anyway, the action, what the action they had, it was good. I love Louis Tan. I do. Sonya Blade, and even Kano and Sub-Zero, they were the best parts of the movie to me. So, I would give it 2.75. And like I said, it was better than the other Mortal Kombat movies, which you brought up earlier. So definitely don't waste your time and go back and see the early 2000s and even the 90s versions of Mortal Kombat. But this would probably be a great place to start or re-experience your Mortal Kombat journey. Temper your expectations for it. And, like I said, I guess this is just them trying to build up the story to build the franchise on, or lay the foundation for the story on which to build the franchise. So they've done that. They don't have to continue doing that, but we'll see what happens in the next series of Mortal Kombat, which will probably come out in 2022 to kind of keep the momentum, hopefully. And I guess that does it, which takes us to an average of 2.6, which I know you're going to say it's not even a real average, but it is 2.6.
No, it's like 2.625, something like that.
It is 2.625. Exactly. I was rounding up though, because I didn't want you to say I was nerding out, which I do.
Jesus.
Okay. So that does it for this week's episode of Mortal Kombat.
We watched the popcorn wind down.
Of Mortal Kombat, I know, of the popcorn wind down. We watched Mortal Kombat so you wouldn't have to. But please be sure to join us daily on the Daily Wind Down on the popcornwinddown.com. Plug. And check us out at Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Yes, tell us how much you loved us. Yes. And be sure to join us next week when we will discuss. I'm so excited. I really am excited about this. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I cannot wait. Until then, thank you for joining us always. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.
Bye.